It's Jeff Tamburello, Director of the Southwest Florida RIA, and I'm also the broker owner of Steelbridge Realty. Here to do a video today. I was at a networking event last night, and every real estate agent that I spoke with brought up this huge increase in foreclosures article that was put out into the market. So we do a monthly report, have been doing a monthly report on the foreclosure since '07. We download it from public records, we trend it, we take out everything that is not a mortgage related list pendants and do a report on it, because list pendants is the beginning of a foreclosure process, among other things. Really, a list pendants just kind of lets the world know that there's an action with the title. But there's also quiet titles, there's separations. You'll get a lot of list pendants with divorces. There's there's a lot of reasons for a list pendant. So not every HOA liens also. Not every list pendants is a mortgage foreclosure, so you really can't use the gross numbers, which a lot of outlets report gross numbers, and that in and of itself is misleading. We've also generally converted 52% of the filings to actual certificate of title. That's when the deed actually transfers. That really is a foreclosure. That's when the deed transfers and the lender or who buys it at the steps gets it. Generally 52% of them convert. So that's another, when you're looking at filings, you're not looking at the true number of properties coming into the market. So I think it was Fox 4 locally that put this out. A new report showed a huge increase in foreclosures. Stunning new numbers released Tuesday. I'm not even going to go through it. The property company is Adam Data Solutions, which is really Realty Track. Realty Track and I have kind of had some battles in the past. The way they reported with their foreclosure actions, and I understand they're trying to come up with a scale. They're a national company, and it's hard to have a fair grading system is essentially what they had, because you have judicial and non-judicial states. And they would report foreclosure actions, which would include like the judgment, which would include the sale date. And in a non-judicial state, there's just not as many actions because the foreclosure happens very quickly. So it's kind of been a problem for them in the past where they've done this, and I kind of called them out on it, because at one point they had I want to say in 2009 or 10, they had a report that there was like 36,000 foreclosure actions in Lee County, and people were misinterpreting that there was that many foreclosures in Lee County. And my first question was, where's this other courthouse, and can I bid on some properties there, because nobody else knows about it either. So a little background on why I'm doing this video. Why we're making it, in my opinion, it misled the public. Math matters, and the way math is presented matters even more. I really don't dispute the numbers in the Adam Data report. I mean, it's trivial, and everybody has a margin of error in their data. It's more how it was presented to the public, and you got to realize journalism for the most part nowadays is what I call click and paste or cut and paste journalism. They get reports and they run it, and they don't vet them much. I think they have some trusted sources, and they just assume they're that way. I don't know whether the press release that was fed to them was worded this way, or whether they chose to word it this way. And really, why would they do this? If it bleeds, it leads. And they used percentages because the percentages would look a lot better in the story than we had 107 mortgage-related list pendants in July of 18, and we had 85 in 17. That doesn't inspire anybody to click on your website, and then the whole social media component goes, and confirmation bias kicks in, and here comes the sharing, and everybody's looking for a predetermined outcome anymore, and social media has really put everybody in an echo chamber. So it's interesting how it starts in the media, hits social media, and then off it goes to the races. So let's talk about the real math. This chart is from January of 2015. Notice the linear trend line. Now, we did have a sharp increase by percentages, but we also had a sharp decrease, and this is a result of the hurricane. They stopped filing for quite a while, and you have to understand the timeline. If somebody was financially injured by the hurricane, they had a 90 to 120 day moratorium on filing, so they kind of gave everybody a grace period. Well, then you got to go 90 days down generally for them to accelerate it, and then from once they accelerate it, the attorney has to pick it up. So generally, a foreclosure is a list pendants filing is a 6 to 9 month trailing indicator of what's actually happened 6 to 9 months ago. Now let's look at it from 2013. Well, when you actually put the real math out, this really doesn't look as shocking as that does. Again, how math is presented matters. Now let's look at the whole last cycle. Boy, that doesn't even come on the radar screen. And then here is the sharp run up from the last cycle and the long aftermath / cleansing process. And this is showing the deeds transferred via foreclosure. That really is a foreclosure. Now, we've been, since they jumped up, we started tracking them in a lot more detail than we ever had. And this is mortgage foreclosure counts by the year originated. And within it, there's quite a few interesting stories. Most of these are essentially you've got random stuff happening, bad things happening, divorces. And this vintage of mortgages was very sanely originated. This is a lot of probates and a lot of loan modifications. They modified it. The taxes and insurance continue to go up as values go up. And then you also have a lot of probates within this data set. And here, I would agree a little bit with the relaxing of lending standards, but it's not a political thing like it's referenced in there. You have a lot of 1% down deals done by builders, primarily in gated communities. Not by builders, by mortgage companies working with builders in gated communities. And that is the vast majority of this vintage. The average amount in default, there's not a lot of, just not a lot of dollar amounts involved. There's definitely, in my opinion, not enough dollar amounts involved here to swing the market. And then the total dollars by year. Again, this is a lot of probates and a lot of loan mods gone bad, and a lot of probates that were loan mods. Notes the trend up has abated this month. It still means the current trend of the distressed market not being a primary driver will continue. I've already kind of covered what the uptick showed. There were some storm damaged houses, and how we determined that was we're seeing some notice of commencements in the chain of title. Since 2015, we've averaged 93 mortgage-related list pendants a month. If you take the dip in the previous months, we had a deficit of 346 as a result of the hurricane. So we would need to break an increase of over 346 for this actually to be a true representation that the trend is going up. Would you like real and actionable information on the real estate market? Join our email list and come to our meetings. Go to swflreia.com. Thanks for watching. I hope it's useful to you. Like and share the video. Leave me some comments. Thank you.